Good morning, all. CamelbackTrading.org coming to you this Monday morning, December 14th, and we are looking at the SPY ETF's market profile here on Window Trader. And right now, it's 75 minutes to go. Prior to the opening, we are looking to stop the one-time framing down, to gap higher, and attempt to stay in the upper distribution from the all-time high from December 9th. We have a double distribution, as you can see, from Friday night's overnight and this morning. Let's go to the other indices first, and then we'll work our way back here to the SPY. So here's the Russell, the IWM. Remember, we said they had a nice 4-day balance. They had a look above on Friday, only to almost come to the almost other extreme of their balance. You could basically treat this as an inside day. You can almost treat the last 2 days as an inside day, as they barely took out the low from Wednesday, went to the other side, same on Friday, and now they're attempting to come out of this at least a 2-day balance on a gap and attack the all-time high. Triple Qs attempting to stop their one-time framing down. They had a pure inside day on Friday, so they're coming out of an inside day on a gap higher, also looking to take out the 10th high. Now, let's go to what we're looking at here in the SPY. So the SPY was one time framing down for 2 days. We're now coming out with a gap. Remember, we had a double distribution day on the 9th. We're attempting to fill those single prints, as you can see, and get into the upper distribution. Any acceptance into the upper distribution and the all-time high is clearly in sight. Now, the volume this morning, again, very light, only 330,000. Seems to be the theme when the market's attempting to go up. We have a lot going on this week with the Electoral College vote today, but more importantly is the Fed on Wednesday. So the question is, does the market just continue to grind higher towards that Fed meeting? Do they even want to make a new high prior to that? Or what do we get out of it if we come out of this 9-day balance, remember, that we are in? So let's go over destinations and a game plan. So right now, I'm not going to even give you Friday's high. That's going to be your first downside destination. Now, one other interesting point. Remember, we were 11 wide on the 10th. I said odds of trading there are very good. Well, that was a downside destination coming into Friday. We gapped below it, never saw it. So it became an upside destination this morning. And lo and behold, we're gapping above it again. So this thing has been totally ignored now for the last couple of times around it. Until we trade at it, it's still in force. So it is now a downside destination again. So right now, I'm going to give you, this was 367.86 daily high. Here are the single prints. They start at 368.59, get filled at 93 cents. Then we have our overnight high of 369.20, and then the 371.05, which is a weekly high now, all-time high, and 371.41, our overnight all-time high from the 8th. For the downside, we're going to use Friday's high of 366.58. Well, actually, I take that back. We're going to use the 11-wide POC first. So if we come down and attempt to fill this gap, they'll finally get that POC of 366.71. Then Friday's high filling the gap at 366.58. Overnight low of 365.69. Afternoon pullback, which I used, which was L's low, of 365.46. And then Friday's low of 363.26, which is a weekly low and a poor low, and then filling that gap that they couldn't fill at 363.12 from December 1st. So game plan for this morning. Well, right now we're looking at a gap of about $2. That's pretty large. Again, you'll have people screaming, gap rules apply. They apply in context. If we're going to open $2 above or higher, I will not look to take a call play right away, and I look to see some sort of inventory adjustment. Remember how important the opening is. We've seen many gaps where we gap higher, get above it a little bit, come back down, and never see above the opening again. So again, that's why gap rules would not apply to me in that case. The question is, how enthusiastic are these buyers going to be the closer we get to, number one, a 9-day balance, and number two, the all-time high, especially with the Fed meeting looming in the next 2 days. All remains to be seen. So with a gap of $2 or more, not looking to take a call play, not even looking to take a put play. Now, if we fail to fill these single prints in the regular trading hours, you can take a put play against that, and then I'd be out above G's high. So if we're to open somewhere around H's high into these singles and cannot fill them, well, then you're being rejected out of the upper distribution from the ninth. So again, that could be a put play. It would be with higher value, not the greatest risk reward, but you could just be out above G's high. If you don't get above G's high, well, then maybe you get some sort of inventory adjustment and the trade works out. If in the next hour and so we open at a lower point, if we don't gap as high and the risk reward is better against Friday's high, then I would look to take a call play. So right now I'll be playing Friday's expiration. I'd probably look to buy the 366 calls against Friday's high. And as far as the put play, the all-time high is 371. I look at a 371 put. Again, Friday's expirations. Two very early plays here in CamelbackTrading.org's voice channel room. And then on the charts, so like we've said, the monthly, healthy. We didn't even dip out toe into last month's range. Oh, I apologize. We did. We went and got down to the gap. I'm sorry. The other day we didn't. But we snapped right back out of it and didn't even fill the gap. I said I would have rather them have filled that gap for two reasons. Number one, you don't want the poor low. And number two, you want that gap resolved so they don't want to get those two things now. That would have been some pretty nice to fill that gap, don't have a poor low, and snap back out of it would have been, I think, in my opinion, better for the bulls. Weekly, one time framing up for 6 weeks. Didn't get any distance away last week from the previous week, but it is still one time framing up for 6 weeks. And the daily, stopping the one time framing down this morning on a gap, it's basically balanced. It's not basically balanced, it is balanced. You'll be in balance now for 10 days with the all-time high as your next destination to the upside. Balance rules and gap rules take effect this morning in context. Good luck trading today. Have a great day, and we'll speak and recap at 4 p.m.